rehabilitated, and real entertaining. This is the Carl Jackson Podcast.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I got some news that I want to bring to you today. Listen, guys, the Department of Justice, let me just put it this way. You've heard of blind justice. Well, justice is dead in America. It's going to be up to us as to how we fight back. I've got a lot of breaking news that I'll talk about. I'll give you some of the headlines of today. But also I want to talk about this news that broke where the FBI knew what the car was that was used in the J6 DNC pipe bomb, but they refused to identify the prime suspect. I think I know why. At least I'm going to speculate why. And there's more news with Just the News. The Oath Keepers founder sentenced to 18 years in prison for his role in the J6 riot. He wasn't even there. Sentenced again to 18 years in prison. This makes no sense. The guy that Richard Barnett that put his feet up on the desk of Nancy Pelosi was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Guys, justice in America is dead. The good news is we can still fight back. There's still time. We're going to do it. We are winning some battles in the against the bureaucratic state. We are winning some battles in the cultural war. So I'm going to give you a little bit of encouragement too. But guys, decide today on what you want your candidate to fight for, whether that's Trump, whether it's DeSantis, whether it's Tim Scott. I don't care who it is. Decide today what you want your candidate to vote for. Oh, but let me add, one of those things should be abolishing the FBI. Stay tuned for some quick program messaging, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. Let me quickly tell you also about MyPillow.com. Mike Lindell, a patriot, has built a fabulous company in MyPillow. And guys, he provides lots of American jobs, American manufacturing, American products. So please go to MyPillow.com. Take advantage of this special that he's offering exclusively to my listeners. You can get the new MyPillow 2.0, buy one, get one free. All you have to do is go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square at the top of the page, enter my name, Carl, C-A-R-L, to take advantage of that deal, or give them a call, 800-858-0263. The new MyPillow 2.0 has the same patented adjustable feel as the original MyPillow, but it comes with the temperature regulating thread on the outside now, making it softer, smoother, and even cooler to lay your head on so you get an even better night's rest. You know, all of his products come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. You cannot beat that with a bat. So go to MyPillow.com and peruse the website, if you will. There's products up to 66% off if you use my name. Go to MyPillow.com, click on that promo code, enter my name, Carl, or give them a call, 800-858-0263. Also, give them my name, Carl. Okay, now, let's get to this. Guys, I am... Sometimes I go back and forth in my mind. I don't know if I look at the situation with the border, and that is an existential threat to America. And then I also look within our borders in the interior, and I look at our Department of Justice. I look at the rule of law and how it's eroding, not just on the federal level, but in our cities, with a lot of our blue cities just going to hell with gasoline draws on because of these DAs and state attorneys that are absolutely intentionally weak on crime when it comes to people that they believe are victims, people that are minority, or people that probably vote Democrat. But when it comes to people that are that they presume to be on the right, or they presume to be Republican, or people that they presume to love America, I mean, they take them to the woodshed and back. It's absolutely insane, and that's what we're seeing. But I think so many people are getting tired of this. People are starting to wake up, and people are finding other ways to fight back, whether it's the cultural wars, or other things as well. But this is something that has to be won. You know, back in the day, I created some acronyms I created Jaff Time, and it was just something to remind me of things that I needed to be fighting for. Another one was Higher, and they all stand for something. Like Higher is healthcare, immigration, the regulatory, state, and it was energy at one point, or education at one point, and then I added an E, so I started saying Higher E, energy and education. The reason why I try to remember these acronyms, because when I look at a candidate, I want to know what they're fighting for, or I want to know what to look for when they're talking. And I'm like, if they don't hit these acronyms, I don't want anything to do with them. That's the way that I see it. Jaff Time, judges, abortion, free speech, taxation, immigration, our military. And then also the E in that was either the same, energy or education, interchangeable, if you will. But now we have this deep state. So I'm not sure. Maybe it needs to be hired for deep state. Hey, that's pretty good. Maybe it needs to be hired. Man, Gabe, you should reach through the screen and pat me on the back. That was pretty good. So hired for deep state, because I think we have to get rid of the deep state. I do want to just offer this information to you, because this is a bit of this is a victory. This is a victory that's very important. This was top on the tip sheet for today. A significant blow to the administrative state. The Supreme Court yesterday established a more stringent test to determine whether the Clean Water Act applies to a wetland. The ruling was a setback for the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and a victory for an Idaho couple, Michael and Chantel Sackett, who have been battling the federal government for over 15 years in their efforts to build a house on an empty lot near a large lake. Ed Morrissey from Hot Air writes, this time the court has set a clear definition for, quote, waters of the United States, close quote, in relation to the EPA jurisdiction, and ruled that it has to be limited to bodies of water with consistent and permanent connection to navigable bodies of water that would otherwise fall under federal jurisdiction. So I absolutely love that. Here's what the EPA was doing, and this is why this is very important. And again, thank God for this couple that decided to stand up, because they have gotten a victory with this behemoth, the EPA, that I believe should be wiped out, frankly. But basically, you guys may recall that I believe it was President Obama came up with this Clean Water Act at the time, or the Clean Water Act was there, but he used the Clean Water Act, maybe that's it, to literally to regulate people that had setting water on their own private property. So if you're on your own private property, if there was, you own a ranch farm or something like that, if there was setting water that accrued anywhere, the federal government could come in and regulate as to whether or not you could build around it, do anything with it. It was absolutely insane. So this was big government encroachment, government trying to get bigger, the Democrats using government to try to increase the bureaucratic state. Well, it took 15 years, but thank God for this couple. They never gave up, and neither should you. Neither should you. This is a fight that we have to continue. We are in a fight for our lives when it comes to the United States of America. Hat tip. The Federalist. The FBI knows what car was used in the J6 DNC pipe bomb, but they refuse to identify the prime suspect. May I suggest that they refuse to identify the prime suspect because it's one of their own? Nothing else makes sense. The story goes as such. The FBI is continuing to stonewall congressional oversight of the agency's investigation into a pair of pipe bombs that was found at the DNC and the RNC headquarters on January 6th of 2021. On Wednesday, House Republicans on the Judiciary Committee re-upped demands for a comprehensive briefing on the 2-year-old case over which the FBI has refused transparency. 2 years. So they've been able to swoop up over 1,000 J6 protesters using geofencing, to collect cell phone data and all of that kind of stuff, using their cameras and all that. But they haven't been able to find a pipe bomber for 2 years. According to lawmakers, and I quote, speaking to the FBI, your failure to comply with our request is particularly concerning given recent media reports regarding the pipe bomb investigation. Earlier this month, an FBI whistleblower told the Washington Times that the FBI identified the vehicle the suspect entered shortly after planning the bombs, but has not pursued the individual. So the FBI knows the vehicle, identified the vehicle that the pipe bomber was using, drove, but nothing. Crickets. Here's a quote from the Washington Times. The FBI had surveillance video that showed the person entering a car with a visible license plate after exiting a metro stop in Northern Virginia. If I were a conspiracy theorist, I would say they don't care about tracking down this license plate because they know who it is. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist, just so you know. Kyle Seraphin, you guys know him, a former FBI agent, turned whistleblower, and now I believe he's a podcaster himself, and if I'm not mistaken, runs Undercover DC or is affiliated with that in some way, shape, or form. But he said he worked on the case, and he told the Washington Times that the agency, quote, tied whoever the person was that dropped the bombs with surveillance cameras all the way through the train. And getting into a car with that license plate. Close quote. Seraphin also told the Washington Times that the two bombs were inoperable, so they didn't work. So the person that set the bombs out didn't want to do any damage. If you were a conspiracy theorist, if you wanted to cause a ruckus, and just hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to make it seem as if there was a threat of domestic terrorism without there actually being a threat, and if let's just pretend like the FBI were a corrupt agency at this point, if you wanted to do that, wouldn't this be the way to go about it? I'm just asking. One former FBI assistant director observed, it doesn't add up. There's just too much to work with to not know who this guy is. There's too much evidence. But our FBI is so crappy, they can't find the guy with a license plate who planted two bombs at the RNC and the DNC. Julie Kelly of American Greatness wrote that she thought it was another FBI hoax. She wrote this over a year ago. I remember reading about it at the time. She goes on to say in an older column of hers, as the FBI successfully rounded up hundreds of Capitol trespassers using sophisticated tools such as geofence warrants, the trail of the pipe bomber went cold. Kelly also reported that despite federal law enforcement posting a $50,000 reward and then later increased it up to $500,000, they still haven't gotten anyone. She goes on to say, and I quote, given what we know about the FBI's politically motivated malfeasance during the Trump era, the likelihood the pipe bomb story was another FBI hoax instead of a legitimate threat becomes more conceivable each day. Man, in the last 15 months, just consider some of the things that we've seen. The unprecedented raid on Mar-a-Lago against former President Trump, the investigation into parents that were attending school board meetings by the FBI, the investigations into traditional Catholics, to numerous whistleblowers that have reported on the corruption and deterioration of the FBI. It's been absolutely insane. So anyway, here's what's happening. According to the House Republicans, or here's what the House Republicans have said. The slow progression of the FBI's investigation into the J6 pipe bomb raises significant concerns about the FBI's prioritization of that case in relation to other J6 investigations. It's amazing. The FBI doesn't know where a pipe bomb is. You also have another story out. I mean, these people are corrupt as all get out, and I don't have it in front of me. Basically, they're tracking Joe Biden. Oh, here it is. This from the New York Post. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer threatens to hold the FBI in contempt. James Comer, stop threatening. Just do it. I'm so tired of this crap. Just do it. I don't understand why Republicans, we sit and I don't know who we want to look good for. Who we want to look honorable for. A bunch of communists? I don't get it. Just file contempt. Put the guy, FBI, Ray, what's his name? Christopher Wray. I'm sorry. Just for God's sakes, hold him in contempt. Don't tell us about it. Don't tell us you're thinking about it. Just do it. This is just drives me crazy. I appreciate the Republicans that are in the fight, like James Comer, and trying to expose this stuff. But I don't need to hear about, you thinking about holding somebody in contempt. Just freaking do it. And perhaps when you do that, some of these people will start taking you seriously. The problem with the right is that the left, they don't fear us. They don't fear us. And it doesn't mean that we have to be some bad people like communists that are going to beat people up in the streets or anything like that. They need to be able to take our words and our actions seriously. And by the way, let me just, as a side note, we're having some success. Look at what we're doing in the culture wars. People are looking at that. That matters. Bud Light, their market share is down nearly $16 billion. From what I read of Target, down nearly $9 billion. People, keep it up. Pat yourself on the back. Good job. We've got a victory in the EPA. We're winning some culture wars, but we have to win this war against this corrupt FBI and DOJ. I heard Ron DeSantis the other day say, what did he say? Christopher Wray would be gone on day one. No, I'm sorry. That is not enough. I like Trump. I like Ron DeSantis. I need to hear from both of these guys. Those are the two front runners. Obviously, Trump way ahead. They are absolutely trying to destroy Trump. We need to hear about an amputation. I don't want to talk about reforming the FBI. I want a freaking amputation. Now, here's the reason why I say that. I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic. I'm not saying that to be provocative. I'm saying that because you have a bunch of morally bankrupt people working in the DOJ. So you can do all the reforming you want. But if you have a culture of corruption, a culture of people that don't love God, that don't know God, that don't give a damn about God, you're not going to have blind justice. And that's exactly where we're at. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says an informant file that he's seeking from the FBI links Biden to a $5 million bribery scheme while he was vice president. He revealed the size of the alleged bribe for the first time Wednesday in a letter to FBI Director Christopher Wray, threatening him with contempt proceedings if he doesn't share the file pursuant to a May 3rd subpoena. Unbelievable. It's just, it's insane to me. It's just insane to me that this is where we're at. But it is where we're at. It is where we're at. Our FBI, for some reason, can't find a pipe bomber when they have plenty of evidence. They won't indict Hunter Biden or Joe Biden when they have plenty of evidence. It's almost as if these people are working on behalf of the Biden administration and the Democrat Party. But and then, if you happen to be on the right, this is what will happen to you if you're on the right. Hat tip, just the news. All right. So now you have this. Oath Keepers founder sentenced to 18 years in prison for his role in J6 riot. All right, so Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rose was sentenced to Thursday to 18 years for his role in the J6 2021 riot. All right, the story goes on. Rhodes was convicted last year by a jury in a federal court in Washington for sedition and other felony charges. Rhodes said he plans to appeal his conviction and sentence, this according to NPR. The U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta rejected Rhodes' bid for leniency and his statement that he was prosecuted for political reasons. A seditious conspiracy is among the most serious crimes an individual American can commit. This is what Mehta said. It is an offense against the people of this country. It's unbelievable. Oath Keepers is a citizens militia group. The Justice Department had asked for Rhodes to serve 25 years in prison, but his legal team requested he serve a year and a half. Well, he gets 18 years, and he wasn't there. And he wasn't there. I mean, this stuff is just astonishing to me. Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. I don't mean to be condescending. I don't mean to be preachy. But the rule of law in this country has to matter. I'm not even sure how we fix the border if we don't have people that respect our rule of law. Yeah, I go back and forth. Which one is the most, the biggest existential threat? Well, they both are. They both are. But I struggle, man. This stuff is getting hard. It is getting so hard. But this is insane. So if the FBI likes you, you can set up a pipe bomb or do whatever you want, and you'll walk away scot-free. You can make deals and make millions of dollars if you're the son of the president of the United States on behalf of your father and give the big guy a part of the cut. As long as you're on their team, the rule of law doesn't matter. But if you happen to be a Republican, if you happen to be a conservative, then all of a sudden, man, you're getting the book thrown at you. And there's a lot of idiots out there that believe this is okay, except that the tables are ever turned. And God forbid they are. Guys, we can't have a rogue agency like we have in the FBI that are willing to do dirt for the president of the United States. He is not a king. He is not a dictator. But if we allow this to continue, he will be a dictator. Then you have Richard Barnett. Richard Barnett gets 4.5 years in prison for writing Nancy Pelosi a nasty letter and leaving it with her and putting his foot up on her desk. He's a rioter for doing that. Like, seriously, the guy shouldn't get a convicted for trespassing, a misdemeanor, fined for, for whatever property he may have damaged or something like that and call it a day. No, 4.5 years. They want to destroy your life. I'm just so tired of this. But I know this. We got to continue to fight. We have to continue to fight. Healthcare is another issue. States like, I think another state has now issued this idea, this assisted suicide. And guys, I'm telling you right now, that may sound good and it may sound compassionate. And I understand when people are suffering in pain, you really don't want them to suffer in pain. And if they say, kill me, kill me, kill me, it sounds so merciful and compassionate. I completely get it. And in a worldly sense, I completely understand. But the more we cheapen life, the further we go down this road, the darker it's going to get. I'm kind of going off a topic right now, so I won't go too far down that arena. But man, the rule of law. If you ever see Governor Ron DeSantis, you want specific answers. You ever see Trump? You're in a town hall, whatever it may be, you want specific answers. It is time to amputate the FBI. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over and over again. These people are out of control and they have to be corrected. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Please check out our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, rate it, review it, The Carl Jackson Show on YouTube. Also Rumble, the same thing if you prefer the free speech platform that is Rumble. You can follow us on all things social media. That is at The Carl Jackson Show. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Getter Truth Social at The Carl Jackson Show. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in today. And until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.